Howdy folks, it's Delta here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 VFR flight today. So VFR that we're actually going to just fly around and land on water wherever we want. Oh look, looks like there's a tripod there for like a GoPro for people doing a YouTube video of themselves flying. I watch a lot of real life flying videos on YouTube. Anyway, we are flying with real time weather, live weather. I have all players turned off because this would be a very busy area if they were turned on. We are on northern Vancouver Island, and looks like we've got some satellite imagery, not flyover imagery. Ignore those buildings that are flat. Here we go, let's look at this. Oh, this is much better. Northern Vancouver Island, Port Hardy. We're gonna fly to, what is this, Quatsino Sound, west-southwest of here. And why would we be flying there, and why are we even here? Well, if you've watched Alone, the TV show Alone on Hulu and or Netflix, or is it Amazon Prime? I think it's Hulu. I don't remember. My wife, who was never going to pay for a subscription, has subscriptions to everything. So it's one of those. Alone, seasons 1, 2, and 4 were filmed here. And it's reality TV. My wife and I enjoy, well, if we're not going to watch our favorite genre, which is very obscure, independent, foreign, if it's not going to be one of those, that very, very specific genre, then we like watching game show / reality TV. And reality TV is in really big, bold quotes, because most reality TV is just scripted. But Alone is probably the most realistic reality TV we've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, it's interesting. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but basically they take people and they dump them on a place. For seasons 1, 2, and 4, it's Vancouver Island, and we're going to fly to where they actually were. Of course, the naysayers are like, well, you know, it's all fake, blah, 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 except the reasons people give are really just ignorance. Like, one common thing about Alone is people will say, well, you know, their spots where they're left alone are like national parks and campgrounds. Well, of course they are. They have to be able to get to the people, first of all, if there's an emergency. Second of all, you can't just dump people in any random land. There's laws. So they're still alone, even though they're at like national parks and stuff. They're still alone for however long they last. The other common issue is people are like, but if they're alone and they're filming their own video, how do they get video of this and that? And I'm like, that's B-roll footage where the production crew comes in and takes their own footage and then splices it in. Can't you tell the difference? But anyway. So that's my rant about that. But Alone, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Again, it's not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people who do survival stuff actually don't like watching it because it's too close to home and they see all these people's mistakes. So it's more like casual viewing. But anyway, I'm watching this truck. So there's my long introduction. Look at that. What are you doing, buddy? I don't think you're needed at this small airport, but whatever. So that's introduction about Alone. Let's take the icon and fly over to where they have been filmed. So let's put the drone away, and I started us at the fuel station just because it was random. Let's see, parking brake set. Where is it? It's down there by my left foot. Make sure everything is off. Reset controls, make sure the rudders work, and they do. Fuel and passengers, which of course the fuel screen popped up when I loaded the flight, but I didn't want to start that way. I think it's just me today. It's just me today, and I had a few M&Ms since the last flight. Oh my, did you see it sink? Did you see the airplane sink? I'm gonna go by myself. I haven't done a flight alone in a really long time. Otherwise, I think that is it for that. We have plenty of fuel. We're just gonna fly for a couple minutes. In fact, my introduction is probably longer than the flight. Make sure the master is on. That's down here. And floodlights as needed. Is that going to be that? Or is that down here? Floodlights as needed. Or there's something up on top. Oh yeah, it says floodlights as needed overhead. Oh, right there. Oh, cool. Okay. Fuel valve on. There we go. Fuel on my yoke. Strobe lights on. And what's this preset do? Oh, that's just a wider view. Okay. Throttle 1/4. There we go. Ignition over to start. And my personal volume is really low. Did it start? I think it did. It started. Alright. This is super awesome unless you start messing with these buttons and then you screw up your then you screw up your thing. So be careful with that. Alrighty. Well, that was weird. I moved my props and it went down. Anyway, throttle 2000 RPM. It is. Oil pressure. Yep, everything's in the green. Test the emergency lights. Everything tests out just fine. Throttle to idle. Before we taxi, we're going to see if this place has an ATIS. I don't know what they're going to have here. They've got traffic. That's it. So we don't know the weather. We're going to be on a barometer. And it changed altitude quite a bit. Okay. Flight plan. We're just going to fly around Vancouver Island. So if we zoom this out, what we're going to do is we're going to fly right here. And then we're going to find this little river thing. And this is where the production crew had their home base. Was like right in here. Well, here too, Port Hardy, but right here. And then people, there were 10 contestants. They were all in this area here. Maybe there were a few here, but most of them were in this area. So we're actually going to fly over the sound. We're going to fly out here and land in the water somewhere. Just because, and that'll be our flight. Very, very simple and straightforward. I just wanted to do this. It was just an idea I had. Because I always find unrelated ideas to get flight ideas. And I'm like, hey, my wife and I sat through 7 seasons of this show. Why don't we fly where they were, right? Alrighty, taxi lights on. There we go. Builds, by the way, is water pump if water gets in here. Oh, heat doesn't work. Okay. Flaps down 1 notch and begin taxi. Oh, that was loud. Alright, here we go. Let's tune in traffic. And the wind was from 331 degrees, so we want runway 29 or 21, something like that. Announce taxi. Select runway for takeoff. Let's see what they give us. I'm really curious. Let's say depart west and see what they give us. 29. Good. Good. Okay, I should have announced taxi first. What if we do announce taxi? What does that say? Okay. It tells you. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. 29er is going to be... I set this up and now we have to zoom back in again. 29er is going to be this one right here. So we just want to go right and back taxi this whole thing. Or we could go left and cut across. Let's go turn around and cut across. Let's do that. So let's hop outside. And crash detection is off, so we shouldn't hit, if we hit that thing, it shouldn't cause an accident. We might get stuck on it. Okay, good, it allowed us to go through. We've had problems before in some airports where even with crash detection off, you get stuck on the buildings if they're hard surface. And other times with crash detection on, I don't know how you get out of that. You would hit it and it would cause a crash. So we're just going to go out this way, do a little bit of a taxi, check out those mountains in the background. Very cool. Alright, what are we looking at here? I'm going to look at my map while I taxi, so I will see you in a couple minutes when we get to the end of the runway, 29. So as we taxi, I was thinking about like short flights in real life, thinking like, people say, wouldn't it be fun if you had a little plane, you could, instead of driving 2 hours or even an hour to get where you want to go, you can just hop in your little plane and go. And that might be okay if you're going from like an air park to an air park. An air park is where you live with a runway in your backyard and everybody shares it type thing. But if you don't live like air park to air park, like in Alaska for example, think about this. So you live in a suburb, you got to fly to the airport, even if, or you got to drive to the airport, even if it's a small one. You got to do all your pre-flight stuff. You got to get going in the air, talk to everybody, wait for other planes, get going. Take your flight. Even if your flight is really short, you got to get into the pattern, get clearance, land, taxi back to wherever you landed, you know, shut everything down, find transportation, and then go to your destination, right? That would take longer than just driving it, if you think about it, right? Even if it's a 2-hour drive, it'd be faster just to get in your car and go. I would think. I don't know. This is something I was thinking about. I remember in high school, this gal dated a guy who was like 20 years older than she was, and he had an airplane. And she'd be like, we flew to blah, blah, blah for lunch. I'm like, I could have driven there, eaten lunch, and come home before you even get there in an airplane. Like, why? It's like, by the time you do all these things and drive there and back and everything, I don't know. Just something I was thinking about while we do our taxi. I'm sure other people have thought of that too. Alrighty, here we go. Let's get this ready. Let's get our landing lights on, nav lights on. Probably should have done that a little bit sooner. Takeoff flaps are ready to go. Now we can depart to the west. And we don't have a clock or anything. So anyway, takeoff checklist, landing lights on. Yep. Taxi lights off, nav lights on, confirm flaps, note time, not in aircraft. It says, and then go. So looking at my real life time, I don't even know where I have a real life clock. I have a water bottle in front of everything. Oh, that's not going to work. Alright. That was terrible. I was trying to do 3 things at once. Alright, let's get going here. Let's get going. We'll just do a clumsy departure here. There we go. And have our map out so we know where we're going to head to. And airspeed is ready to go. So here we go. Upsy daisy. Alright, step on the brakes. Gear coming in. Let's look at that. Well, that's cool. Cool way to do that. Very nice. And flaps coming in. And let's get going. Let's clear these mountains. And what do we do here? Take off. Yeah, flaps, blah, blah, blah. Keep landing lights on. Okay. That's it. That's how you fly this thing. People are like, you should start with the Cessna. I'm like, just start with the Icon. And don't forget about your gear. Alright, that's it. We're firewalled. This is all we get, folks. And we're just going to climb. And follow the map. So, how can I do this with autopilot? And you can't. The real life plane has autopilot. This one does not, which is a huge bummer. And you cannot force it through keyboard commands either. So, alright, we're going to head towards Quatsino Sound. Clear these mountains. Look outside a little bit. Oh, lots of lovely trees. I'll take a screenshot of that. And look at the water. Snow caps in the background. This is basically a rainforest, by the way. A couple of rainforests in this area, like genuine rainforests. I don't think they have bright parrots here, though. I think it's a different kind of rainforest. But anyway, I'm just going to be quiet now. I've already spoken too much, and we're going to fly towards the water, and I will start yapping again when we get to Quatsino Sound. I'll see you in a little bit. Is that really low-lying fog modeled in the sim? That is amazing. That is so crazy. I did not expect to see that. So we're going to stay here below train level. Well, kind of. We are going to probably climb as I'm outside doing more screenshots or scene shots. But I just wanted to break in and talk about that low-level fog because that's ridiculous. I cannot wait to land in that. Can't wait. Alright, we're just going to follow this water out to the sound at train level or below. And I promise I won't talk this time. No, I don't promise anything. I'll see you in a little bit. How about that? I love 3D vision so much. Took me a long time to figure it out, but I love it. You can tell we're starting to level off a little bit here. I've been trimming down like crazy to get us about 4,500 feet. There's our sound of there. Everything we need to know is here. And then our map is there. So we're about to reach the sound. Look how quickly we're going. And there we are. So let's hop outside. So this is the sound right here. where like one of the home bases was. Oh, look at that! Holy cow! For the production crew, and then we already talked about Port Hardy being right there where the beacon is. So now we're entering the territory where people were actually camped out. Some people were along here, but most of them were down here between here and the ocean, and then along the edge here. It was very interesting, like I said. This show, it's fun. It's the most interesting thing to me were people who were called survival experts and they didn't know very basic things. That was interesting. But otherwise, it was just something to waste time on instead of taking things so seriously all the time. So here we are. We are entering the area where people actually camped out. So we're going to follow this, and like I said, we're going to land in here somewhere just randomly, because why not? We need to start losing altitude, though, like in a major way. I want to be below the train level. So we're just going to trim down instead of bring throttles back, so we can keep our speed up, because this thing is not a speedy little machine. So we're just going to fly in the yellow a lot. Otherwise, oh, there's an airplane right above us. Oh, can you see it? Was that it right? No. Let's see, where is it? Is that it? No. It's around somewhere. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about the show. If you're interested, you can just watch it. Otherwise, let's have a little bit more sightseeing, and then we'll land, and that'll be it. Alright, our destination is site where we want to go. We want to just land in here somewhere. I really don't care where. It'll be whatever. Maybe back here. Maybe we'll land and taxi back here or something up to the shore so we can pick up a stranded contestant. Things happen too. Like, they like basically nearly chop off their own limbs cutting wood. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So let's start coming down, because what are we at? 3,200 or 3,300? Yeah, 3,300. And we're just going to land over there. So out here is just ocean. That is not mountains. That's clouds out there. If you zoom out, we'll see. See, that's just clouds. There's nothing out there. All right, let's zoom in so we can see what we want to do here. And we'll land and taxi in. Ooh, there's some terrain bouncing around for you. Some turbulence. Very cool. Oh, there we go. We're not going to land in the fog, unfortunately. That would have been neat. Oh, yeah, we will. Oh, yes, we totally will. Alrighty, throttles all the way back. I just watched the video on aerodynamics part 2 and the new flight model and updates and changes they're making. It's so awesome. Alright, that is actually a lot farther away than it looks. So what we'll probably do is just come down and then slow down right above the water. Make sure you do the thing where flaps will be down. So up, down, up for now. You can watch the video of the real-life trainer with the real-life aircraft showing you how to do that. She has this workflow she does. This is a sport light aircraft. You just need a sport license to fly. One person. Lots of crashes in these, given how few they've sold, and they've all been professional veteran pilots who've been crashing them. I guess there's a whole article about it you can read, and it's because they treat it like a normal type of aircraft, I guess, where new people only know this or something. I don't know. I totally get the theory behind it, but I can't explain it. Alright, we get to land in the fog. This is so cool. It's really like this in real life too. And then the reflections. Keep an eye on the altitude. Now the altitude is going to be sea level. So we don't need the map anymore, so let's use 3D vision so we can keep an eye on our altitude more easily. And you can use the trees a little bit, but landing on water is very difficult. Smooth water is even the most difficult. So here we go, let's just come down. We can get to about tree level or so. And then we'll do flaps in a moment. We'll just land back here and taxi around and see what happens. Hopefully not taxi into the shore and crash. Alright, first set of flaps. Looking good. See, in real life you have to use a tree line. You have to spot where you're going to land. And then you do a better job that way. We're 270 above sea level, which is also ground level. Double check our barometer. There we go. Barometer's changing as we get close to the ground. Alright, second set of flaps. Too early to touch down. That would be a very long taxi. But we're going to hover about 200 feet above sea level, which is the water here. There we go, landing the fog. This is amazing, this foggy landing. I love it. 100 feet above now. Speed is good. Yeah, we're just going to go straight. And then a little bit 100 feet now. We'll stay above water for a minute. Also, it's a long taxi. Let's stop descending. Alrighty. Just hover along. Annoy everybody. 70 feet above sea level, or, well, touchdown. And we're going to aim right up there because there's a little cove we can taxi to, I think. 80 feet, 70 feet. Yeah, we're going to go right in that cove. Right there. Alrighty. We'll slow down in a minute. And then land 70 feet. Here we go. Flaps are down, water rudder's up, gear's up. 70 feet. Hitting about stall. That's what we want to do. 30, 20, 10 feet above, angle of attack, keep it out of the yellow, and ground effects, and boom, perfect, no bounces, nice. There are no brakes, obviously, so you come down here and you do your water rudder, flaps coming up right away, and there you go, a perfect water landing in the icon, and there, like I said, there's no brakes. So you just gotta ride it out and don't land too close to shore because you won't be able to stop. So let's zoom in a little bit, see where we are in relation to this. Yeah, we're just gonna go right up here. In fact, there's this little river up here that a guy was trying to get water from in the show, but because it's brackish, he got really sick and dehydrated from the mix of salt water. It was very bad. He had, well, did he have to leave? I don't know. People who do stupid things don't even have to leave the show. Sometimes they win. Sometimes the dumbest people win, or whatever. That's for you to watch and find out. Are we going to make it all the way up to that cove? Let's try it. Why not? Oh, look at that gorgeous view. Right before sunset. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yep, we're going to go right into that cove. How perfect is that? Flight time, by the way, was exactly 20 minutes in the air. Hey, bears. Hey, bears. I'm going to go into your territory and eat your food. Don't eat me. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, bears. Alright, so we want to stop, but we don't want to smash into the shore either. So we'll probably, when I've seen people do this in real life, what they do is they go out to about waist-high water, and then they just push it in like a little tiny boat. You know, you don't go to the shore on your own. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go up here a little bit. And then we will just let it float around a little bit. How awesome. Oh, I love this so much. Alright, we're just going to let it coast now because obviously there's no brakes. Right? So there's no... we're just going to let it coast. Come on. There we go. And there's no parking brake, but we'll set it anyway. I don't think there's no rudder or anything. So there we go. Awesome. Well, that looks cool. What's that? Yeah. This is that river that guy was messing with, I think. Yep. And then get out. We go for a little walk through the woods. This is what I like about the drone. You can like go walking around with it. Follow the game trails. Haven't seen any animals though. Nope. Want to see where we are. There we go. Look at that in the fog. Oh, that's so cool. See, then there's roads and stuff, so people are complaining like, they're camping by, they're a mile from a road. It's like, yeah, they need to be able to get taken out of there. So you see what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go back inside. We'll shut this down a little bit. Again, if you shut it all the way down, it stops the flight and it ruins the immersion. So here we go. Water rudder down. Yep. All lights off. Confirm flaps up. Starter off. Is that going to stop the thing though? Let's see. No, good. Okay. It's when I do the master switch in this one. So we can do everything for immersion except the master switch, which I will do after the video. So let's hop outside. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I love little VFR flights like this. They don't need to be long IFR flights, although we do some of that too. But anyway, look at this. Wow. Let me just get a screenshot here of this. Point it up enough that the sun will stay out of the thing. There we go. So if you enjoyed it, if you have a request like this, let me know. Super simple, super VFR, super easy, super fun. Always a story to go with it. I rarely just get in an airplane and say, we're just going to fly. There's always a reason for it. There's always a story behind it. It really makes it more interesting and fun. Hopefully that gets transferred onto you. So please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and all that jazz. And I'll see you next time.